Hi, welcome to Steaming It Up Anywhere. I'm Kristen from NIU STEAM. And today from Franklin STEAM Academy, we have Rashad Seaton. Hi, Rashad.
Hello, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, what do you do over at Franklin?
At Franklin, I'm a seventh grade writing teacher and avid elective teacher.
Great. And so, you and I have talked a little bit about how you connect books and STEAM activities. And so, tell us about the ghost activity that you were working on with your students.
Okay, so the ghost activity, it was our writing about reading IDU. It was kind of a natural fit, so we went ahead and made that an IDU. But uh, as we did, the name of it, the title of it is Record Setters. And so what happened was in the book, Jason Reynolds, uh, he had the main character, which his name is Ghost. That's his nickname. But uh, he was just kind of very interested in the Guinness Book of World Records. And so he would always say something about some record or another. And it was a good way for me to actually kind of wrap into it, theme or symbolism, and tell the kids that, hey, when an author brings something back over and over, it's probably something that they want you to pay attention to. It's almost like if your parent tells you something more than once, you might want to listen to it. And so I'm like, there has to be something about the fact that he keeps bringing back these records, or has the main character to kind of refer back to these records that he read in the Guinness Book of World Records. So I said, this is your chance to kind of do the same thing for yourself. All right, so Ghost dreams of breaking these records, or he thinks about these records. What record could you break? What seems realistic to you? What are you interested in? And they have to do a little bit of research and talk about, what is the current record set for this record that they want to break, and then, kind of come up with a goal. And then we just kind of made a big deal about it. And I'm still not sure of the process. I mean, this past school year was the first time we did it. And so I'm not totally sure how to make it official, but the plan was to make it official. And then in the spring, when the weather kind of broke and things got nicer outside, we would, bring in the official judge or whatever it is that comes in to watch the kids as they try to break this record that they decided to break. So it was around October, late October, that we started the activity, so they had time to practice and think about it, and it would have given us time to go through the process of making it an official thing. However, things things happen, such as the current situation that we in. So it didn't quite get to happen, but it was fun, and they were excited about it, and they were always checking in to see when are we gonna do this, and so it actually engaged them pretty well.
That's what I was going to ask. So, that real world connection to actual Books of World record ideas, did that help them want to dig into the book more and kind of see what happened? Did it create a different level of engagement with the text?
Yeah, I think it made a different level of engagement with the text, and just I'm always looking for ways to bring things alive. I know that some of the most memorable, the best memories you have were tied to something like something fun, something amazing, something that you got a chance to do hands on, and it was an experience. And so, I knew that if we could tie something in that was an experience, something that was extremely memorable, it would also help them to, be able to refer back to the text and remember the text better.
So, did they look at records that they could break as an individual, or were these team based challenges, or was there kind of a variety?
There was a variety. You know, uh, some of the records were kind of partner based or team based, and so if they were, we gave them the opportunity to do that, which is totally an Avid thing. You know, we're trying to find a way to incorporate collaboration, which is engages the kids like crazy because all they want to do is be with each other anyway. And so some of them, you know, picked activities or records to break that they needed a partner for, and some of them were kind of solo activities.
When you bring up the Avid characteristics, that they also align very well with kind of STEAM learning, the collaboration, the learning through failure, that resilience. Because my guess is that most people won't break a world record on their first try.
Right.
It might take a few attempts.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of them were probably excited about, you know, failing forward because some of them were kind of food based.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So like that was one where I think you had to try to open and eat a certain amount of oranges blindfolded. And so probably some kids that benefited from a bunch of vitamin C during that time.
Yeah. So you've got within this writing activity and this reading activity, these great connections to STEAM. You've got failure, you've got collaboration, you've got probably some research, data collection. There's some good math concepts depending on what challenge what record they try to break. So what are your plans for next year? Are you hoping to do this? Is there something you do differently, or kind of what do you hope this looks like next year?
Next year, just kind of more refined, more on my end than anything. And with a lot of these bigger things like these IDUs and the PBLs and things like that, I know that I need to do a better job of front loading. So the idea of, I guess you could say I struggle with the idea of, you know, putting the activity out there and not taking away the creativity. And so I think I may leave too much to, you know, it's too open ended. And I do need to focus it more so that I get uh, the final product that I would actually like to see. Because if it's too wide open, you know, you may end up with some stuff where you're like, where'd you get that from? Well, they
Ex-
got it from because you didn't focus it well enough.
Right. It's finding that balance between the right level of constraints and open-endedness that you can kind of focus their learning. Because sometimes having the right constraints makes you even more creative because you've got to work within these parameters and it's not
True.
just whatever.
Yeah. So that piece, in addition to, I need to get a better grasp of how I can, you know, actually make it official and we can actually bring in. Oh man, because if we could bring in, you know, an actual judge from the Guinness Book of World Records, we probably, you know, attract, you know, media and things like that, and that would be great. You know, and so if I don't follow through on that piece, then it'll kind of be like a seriously, Mr. Seaton, like we did all that for nothing. So I want to be able to follow through.
Well, and that's a key part of PBL is that authentic audience. And what a great authentic audience is actually trying to get into this internationally published book of records.
Hmm.
So any advice that you would give to teachers who might want to try something like this or might want to try to connect a STEAM or a PBL more closely to a, a book?
I would just say think outside of the box and be creative and just continually think about, you know, what you think will engage the students, and how you can bring things to life for them. You know, and just make learning fun because that's all they really want anyway.
Exactly. That's all we all want, right? Well, and I think it was interesting because you did say that this came out of you paying attention to what the kids were interested in when they were reading the book, right?
Hmm.
As they were reading, they kept talking about the Guinness Book of World Records, and it was following some of their interest as well, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just kind of noticed. I mean, I do a good job just from having to read a bunch of literature and stuff for to get my degree. Just noticing like, okay, this is a theme. This keeps coming back, and so I brought it to their attention. But one of the things that when I gave them the assignment on Google Classroom, I provided a link to it's to the Guinness Book of World Records, but it's a link to it's kind of an assessment. And based off of how they answer these few questions on the assessment, it will tell them what direction they should go in as far as breaking a record. And so that was pretty cool.
Oh, very cool. Very
Yeah.
fun. Well, I wish you luck with this next year. If you do have students who are ready to break records, I'd love to come down and watch because that sounds like it would be so much fun and so exciting.
Absolutely. Open invitation, but I will let you know what date it is.
Great. Well, thanks so much for sharing this activity and for chatting with us today.
Yes, ma'am. No problem.
You have a good one.
Thank you.